100%. We have it in a problem. Really, we are.
Well, y'all just put the manager back in here.
And only one vote.
So, is there any managers? Is there any treasurers? Applications? Or am I just talking here? I'm just talking to the wall?
Applications for the manager and as well as the treasurer.
But we not doing nothing. We don't interview anybody. And the manager now, since last time when they appoint the mayor manager, so we not interviewing nobody.
So why haven't there been any interviews?
They've been interviewed.
There's 3 votes there who did the whole thing.
No, when?
I'm sorry, I have to say what it is.
What did they say?
No, what they're speaking about, Reverend Matthews, they said that there's been no interviews for a manager.
Oh, for a manager.
The last time this board met, the board said that they were going to interview for a manager. However, as to a treasurer, there still is discussion as to are there going to be interviews for a treasurer?
They started the interviews on Monday for the treasurer. As far as the managers go, we do need to.
Let me ask you this: has anybody, any of the board members, been given an opportunity? Who's interviewing for a treasurer?
Heather and the mayor manager. I don't know now because the mayor manager complained they don't agree each other. So I don't know.
So how do you consciously vote for someone that you haven't even interviewed?
Exactly.
That's
We don't need it.
Well, let me ask
We the elected officers.
Let me ask you a
supposed
question.
to
Wait a
be
minute. Let
elected.
me ask you a question. Who has the authority to put a treasurer in?
The mayor, we bought approval.
Right.
So in the
The
day
mayor
that
with,
you
wait a
approve,
minute. The mayor with board approval.
Yes.
So he needs to get somebody. He's the one.
but the board has
He's
to know
responsible.
before you vote. You go.
That's exactly
And then we
right.
vote
That's
on
why
it,
they were going to have
right?
a second interview.
I'm not voting on it because if I didn't sit down on an interview, I'm not voting on for someone that I don't know.
Then you just missed what I said. What I said was they'll have the opportunity for a second interview when the mayor, manager, and the treasurer found a candidate that was strong enough to take on the job. Then they would have a second interview where the board members were welcome.
But I have a problem really that Heather, who this book is all screwed up in account since 2011, seated there to choose a treasurer. I really have a problem. You put somebody with experience who's going to choose really a treasurer with experience who's going to interview. But right now, we have a problem. Everybody listen to that. So how can we see a treasurer that is not even here today to answer questions? And we're gonna put a head to choose for us to vote? That's wrong. We an elected government here.
Excuse me.
Is there any other questions for Mr. Musa? Thank you very much. Ed.
Thank you.
Thank
Anybody
you.
has any
Thank
questions?
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Really appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much.
Can you give a little, we close this meeting?
Okay, can I have a motion to close?
I make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call, Carmen?
Yes.
Larissa?
Yes.
Rev?
Yes.
TC?
Yes.
You wanna give a recess a little bit?
Oh, recess, yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll recess.
You mean-
We'll start the regular meeting in about 5 minutes, please.
10.
10? 10 minutes? All right, we're still working on Dennis. There was an accident on the highway, so he should be here shortly.
We have to go 10 minutes. We could have just let the superintendent do his piece.
Oh, yeah, just only a few minutes. I mean, just very-
How you doing? How's everything? Good? Good seeing you. Thank you. Sure.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
waiting on Dennis, the attorney, to be here maybe 10, 15 minutes. Have a motion to accept the agenda?
I make a motion with some changes,
Okay, second. Just let me get a second, I didn't change.
I'll second.
All right, Carmen?
like get from a get done, that should be removed because we don't know if it's gonna take, it's gonna do an audit for us. So that should be tabled. And deputy treasury, Carrie LaHoy has to be tabled because we have a law in the village code, which is, I bring here a copy. And it's, it has to leave and no, here it is. Local law, and the village code is 4515, local law number 1 of 1996. The village, the deputy village clerk and the deputy village treasurer must reside within the town of Tunso in New York. So in order for us to, for you to appoint her as a deputy, you have to change it with a local law. It has to be a public hearing because this is not just a resolution, it's being a local law. So that has to be tabled and set up maybe a public hearing because she doesn't live in Town of Tunso, she lives in Liberty.
What we'll do is, since the council isn't here, and I thought they changed that, but I'm not gonna
No, we
dispute
don't
it.
change
But I'm not gonna dispute it, we can wait for that then. If it's fine with the board, we'll table that. And what else, Carmen, you wanna table? We'll table it. And you wanna table Gitlin and Knack, right? We'll table that
The
too.
appointment of Gitlin and
Okay, we'll table it. Anything else?
And also, you know what, it's also a resolution for the corner of St. John's and Broadway. I really never saw the new contract, so that should be tabled. We don't have no opportunity to read the contract. What contract, what liability we have in that corner for the village? It's risking a liability in the village.
We could table
Just
that
to
too.
go.
What
Carmen,
number that is?
At least for the last one, it's the same contract.
It doesn't matter. I want to see it and read it and understand it and see how much responsibility the village take it and the liability. It doesn't matter if it's the same. I would like to have it present and look at it.
Because Dennis was gonna, we were gonna go back to the old contract. The village would assume the insurance and then everything would be the same. But we could table it.
Wait,
We
but
could-
you go to
we'll
the
table
old
it.
contract, you print it again, you know? But
What
I
we'll
don't
do,
wanna-
we'll table it because we
Should
don't
be
have an
tabled.
attorney here, so
Okay.
we'll table it.
It should be tabled.
Okay, we'll
What number
table.
is that?
10 we'll table. We'll table it. Because Dennis isn't here, so I don't wanna. Anything else?
I don't think it's the fact that Dennis isn't here. It's the
No,
fact that
just the board is deciding
that-
on this, not Dennis. Dennis is
Right.
not an elected
correct.
government here.
I think
We are
that-
the elected.
I think that what Carmen
And
is
take
saying
the
is
seat.
she's absolutely correct. At least the courtesy should have been given to the board members to at least read what we're accepting back into the thing.
Right.
I am one.
Because you had
I
talked,
am
I
one-
think, last meeting
Right,
about.
I am
with
one
the-
for and
for.
and am in agreement with the village leasing out that lot for $1 with some little minor stipulations that was a concern. The superintendent had mentioned that with the potholes and stuff that may be formed in the parking lot, the village wouldn't be responsible for having to fill those, nor would they be responsible for plowing. Maybe something could be worked out with the business owners to plow that.
All right. So we'll discuss it with Dennis. We'll make some adjustments on the contract. You got anything else, Carmen?
No.
TC? Anyone has anything else? Okay. So we'll roll call. Carmen,
Yes. with the
Larissa,
Yes.
with the changes, and Reverend Matthews. TC.
Yes.
All right. Roll call. Approval of minutes from March 28, 2013, and April 16th. And April 18th, 2013's
And
meetings.
March
Have a motion.
28th. March 28th.
March 28th? Okay, have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Carmen,
Yes.
Larissa,
Yes.
Reverend Matthews, TC.
Yes.
Okay, managers' appointments, CBA members for 5-year term, Howard Perlman, Ken Carpenter, June Bartol, and Bonnie Hoffman. The 1-year term, Deputy Village Clerk Stacy Walker. We'll table Carrie. John Fuller, Village Engineer. Gitlin Knack Pavloff, Village Auditor. Sullivan County Democrat, official newspaper. Dr. Lauderstein and Garfinkel, Police Surgeons. Dr. Garfinkel, Health Officer. Rabbi Kantowitz and Pastor Ramirez, Police Chaplains. Huh?
Pastor Romero.
Huh?
Romero.
Oh, Romero? Romero, not Ramirez. Romero.
What about it?
Those are police chaplains.
Oh,
Okay, banks.
it's all right, right?
Yeah. Banks are going to be Chase Bank, Key Bank, Community Bank of Sullivan County, Bank of America, First National Bank of Jeffersonville, TD North Bank, and those are the official banks. The board auditors, I'm going to table that and we'll discuss it downstairs. And I have a deputy mayor's appointment that's been a carry-on. I'm going to make Larissa Bennett the deputy mayor. And that's it. Okay.
There was no deal.
So what we're going to do, Mr. Tobleski from the school superintendent.
Yes, sir.
Could you please come up? You know, I'd like to thank you too for doing the tennis courts for us. I appreciate what you're doing for us in the village. He's the superintendent of schools and he's doing our tennis courts for us. I appreciate it.
Well, that's
Thank
okay. We have the compound that'll take and fill the cracks. We'll fill them in. All we've just asked is that if you'd be kind enough to maybe have the lines repainted. But we'll try and keep up the upkeep on the tennis courts. So our teams and everybody, the village residents, would have the opportunity to play in the courts. And when they hit the ball, it wouldn't land in the crack and go away one way or the other. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
You've invited us here tonight, and I truly appreciate the opportunity. In a couple weeks, 2 weeks from tonight, we have a budget vote. And it's been a very difficult year for our school district. 2 weeks ago, approximately 2 weeks ago, and I'm sure you read in the Times Herald Record, that we had layoffs that totaled 38 people. We have to take with the state putting in a 2% tax levy cap, ensures that we cannot go above it, and if we do, we need to elect a simple majority. You know, we have to have a majority, not like it is in the village, that if you wanted to override the cap, you just need a majority of the members to vote yes. We would need at least 60% of the registered voters to vote for. When we rolled our budget over, it was a $5.1 million budget-to-budget increase, and that would have been not acceptable to the taxpayers, the community. So Denise Sedera Thornton is with us tonight. She's a Monticello graduate. She's also our school business official. And I'd like to ask her, I'll pass what I have out to everybody here if they'd like to follow along, and she'll take you through the process of how we came up with the numbers. If you have any questions, and you can save them till the end, we'll try and answer them at that period of time. Does that work?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If we start on page 2, you'll see the 13-14 budget review. The 12-13 adopted budget, the current school year, $77,384,789. The 13-14 adopted budget, which was adopted by the Board of Education on April 18th, is $80,186,419, a dollar increase of $2.8 million, a budget increase of 3.62%. If you look on the bottom of the page, we have the 12-13 adopted tax levy at $43 million. The proposed tax levy will be $44,241,951, a dollar difference of $1.2 million. You'll see a levy percent difference of 2.81%. I'm going to stress to you that that is Monticello Central School District's legal limit, our 2% tax levy cap. The district is not above the limit of what the state told us we can go. Now, if you flip the page to page 3, I've done a comparison for the 12-13 and the 13-14 school year. On the left side of the page, you'll see salaries, FICA, Social Security, ERS, Employees Retirement System, TRS. TRS is the Teachers Retirement System. That's where our teachers, that we pay against the instructional and non-instructional, so instructional staff, our Teachers Retirement System, the support staff is Employees Retirement System, health and dental. So if you look by 12-13, the salaries for the staff that we have right now and the health and the benefits are $50 million. When we go forward to 13-14 with contractual obligations, it takes us to $53 million. And you'll see the dollar difference of $2.97 million. And And if you recall on the previous page, the budget's only going up $2.8 million. Now, if you look at TRS, the Teachers Retirement System, and the ERS, you'll see those hefty percent increases. The ERS, as well you know, it's gone up. Teachers Retirement System this year for the district has gone up over 5%. But on the salaries, it's 39%. So that's right there that's a big increase just the district alone. And that's not all the contractual expenses as debt service and your electric and all your utilities. Page 4, you have your 13-14 projected revenues. We have our interest income. We earn approximately $150,000 a year. Other revenues, it's included but not limited to the BOCES rent payments, BOCES refund, Medicaid reimbursements, charges for services, tuition fees, interest and penalty on taxes.
And that you would notice the BOCES rent payment includes St. John Street. That's where part of the money comes in for St. John Street.
I'm going to skip the next one. We have the state aid. State aid is $28 million, and our tax levy is $44 million. The applied fund balance is $5.5 million. Those are the monies that we roll into the next year to help offset those taxes. If we did not have that $5.5 million, it would devastate the district. It's going to devastate the district in another 3 to 4 or 5 years, because with the tax cap, the district and the obligations, the district's not going to be able to continue having a fund balance.
What you have to understand is we start the next school year for 13-14. We're going to go 14-15, go the year farther. We already know that we have to come up with $5.5 million because that's our part of our applied fund balance from year to year. So it puts us $5.5 million short. But that's part of what we put towards the tax levy to keep the rates down for the taxpayers.
On page 5 is the contingent budget information. The contingent budget would be capped at 2.06%. The district would go to a contingent budget under 2 possibilities. One, if the vote goes down the first time, the district can go ahead and put a vote up the second, or the Board of Education would decide to go right to contingent budget. If that happens, new equipment will not be purchased. The community will be charged for use of the school facilities and our fields, and the Board of Education determines what is a contingent expense.
So just to recap on that, if we have individuals that are coming in to use for basketball and they want to come in and play at night, we open up our gym to play indoor soccer. Residents of the community come in. If they were to come in and the budget did not pass, they would have to be charged a fee to come in and use the facilities, where now they don't have to be.
So if you look at the 12-13 adopted budget, it's $77 million. The projected budget for 13-14 is $80 million. If the district needs to go to contingent budget, it's $78,976,256, which means we would have to reduce an additional $1.2 million to get to that $78 million from where we are right now today.
We're very fortunate that we really didn't cut a lot of programs and that we'd be able to keep services as is for next year. I know that's not the correct grammar to use, but we would hope. We can't stand here this evening and ask you to come out and vote yes, because we're not allowed to do so according to state ed law. But what we could say is we would appreciate that you would come out and exercise your right as an American to come out and vote on election day. We have 3 trustees that are up for election, and they had to meet the candidates last night. But I ask you again, as we continue to grow the school district, to partner with the village, to partner with the towns. It helps us, and behooves us to take and continue to move our school forward in a good light. Are there any questions that we might be able to answer from any?
The taxes, how much?
Taxes,
would go up.
the tax cap levy is 2%. Taxes would go up approximately 2.81%.
Correct.
And that keeps us within the 2% levy. That's one of the lowest for 2 years in a row. Last year it was 2% the taxes went up. This year it would be 2.81%. And if you take a look at the prior years, 7%, 6%, 8%. So we've kept the taxes down for the last 2 years.
So I hear some teachers is going to be laid off.
Yes.
And I also hear students worry about that some of the teachers have to let it go for the next fiscal year.
There were approximately 18 teachers that will not be coming back for next year. Class sizes really will not be affected. What we will be able to do is we are condensing we have 5 sections, and we'll go to 4 sections in some of our elementary classes, and that will bring them up to par with what enrollment is amongst the other grades in the buildings. So we do not foresee, well, we have had people that have, it's unfortunate. I went around myself and I talked to every person that was losing their position, as did Mrs. Sedera Thornton, and explained to them that they would not be back to follow. It's very difficult to be able to do.
So what programs you cutting for the kids in the school, cutting the teachers?
We're not cutting any programs.
You know,
No programs are cut.
all the programs is going to be intact, including
Music,
the kids who go in
athletic,
special classes and
Yes.
everything is going to be intact.
Yes, that is
all
correct.
intact.
Are we still going with this, separating the elementary school as to some of the kids go up to the Cook School and some of them go to the Chase School, some of them go to the Rutherford School? Are we still separating all of our kids?
We do have boundary lines, and we are going to take a look at redrawing some of the boundary lines for next year.
Have they already been decided where those boundary lines are going to be?
No, they have not. We'll be doing that over the course of the summer. That will not take place for next year. That would be for the following year. It's not fair to parents to say to them in August, after you've been for kindergarten roundup, that this is where your child's going to school. And then all of a sudden we say, guess what? We've moved the line, your child's going to go to this school. It's not fair. We won't do that, TC.
Would you like to, any questions from the audience out there? Anyone?
Thank you for your time tonight. I know you have a busy meeting, and I truly appreciate the time that you gave us this evening.
And again, thanks for the tennis courts, for repairing the tennis courts. I
Thanks.
appreciate
It's a
it.
pleasure to work together with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on 8, approval of bills to be paid in the amount of $2,629,058.70. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second? Okay, roll call, Carmen?
No.
Do you know what this is about? The bid?
I know, I called
Okay, it's a
Glenn
ban.
and I know, but I
Okay,
need
okay.
more, the treasurer to communicate with the elected officials here.
Mr. Mayor,
I say
Mr.
no.
Mayor, before you do the roll call,
I know.
and Mr. Mayor, and I want to apologize to you and also to the board. And I just want to just clarify why I'm not and why I can't consciously vote for the board. The information that we're getting, it's not current. Just last week, the last meeting we got on 4/12, we got a budget report, and then 2 weeks later for 4/29 for this budget, we got and things have been changed dramatically. I mean, we're supposed to be at this point of the year, we're supposed to be almost at like a 71% of what we've spent. It's showing 50%, 71%. Some don't even show anything where we've spent money. Last meeting, I said that I would vote for it to go by because of what I have in front of me. Now in front of me now, I don't see how at least we each of us board members could rightfully make a decision with the reports that we have. These reports aren't current, and like I said, and I don't mean to be disrespectful.
No, it's not
I just had to put it out there.
I talked to Heather. I talked to Heather Monday, and what I have here, Heather's been here the whole day Monday, and if I had issues about the treasurer and about this issue here, I went up there and I talked to Heather, and I'm comfortable and confident of what I have here to vote for. I've talked to her and I'm comfortable with it. I understand there's some differences there, but I'm comfortable with what I have here, and I'm gonna go with I spoke with her, and being the mayor here, I'm comfortable. I talked to Heather. Did you talk to her Monday?
No, I didn't.
I did, and I'm comfortable with the numbers, so
Right.
we'll vote it. I mean, this is something that has to be, it's bills that have to be paid, and if you vote it, you vote it. If you don't, you don't. But I'm comfortable
and I
with
think
it.
that if
Roll call, Carmen.
No,
Ms.
I
Mayor,
just
we're still
saying,
having-
after the report of the audit, absolutely no.
Okay, Larissa.
If you just
No
look at,
confidence.
Yes. Okay.
Gordon, if
We're
you
gonna move on.
communication.
We're gonna move on because we
That's
can't
poor
sit here. We can't sit here and just
You
keep
can't-
arguing.
Gordon, you
It's a
can't
vote
move
on
on.
3 table. It's a vote. It's a yes. They
I
gotta
gotta
make
make
it pass. Let's move
for the
forward.
record, my vote
Let's
is,
move
is
forward.
no.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
but also,
Carmen, please.
you know
Let's
what?
move forward.
No, you
You
don't
have
want
to
to hear
respect-
the truth. That's the problem with you.
But
You
there's
debated
three-
with the manager and the mayor here.
There's 3 votes
You
here.
don't agree with the manager.
Let us
Okay.
not do this in the front of the public
Okay.
and everything. Let's
Thank
move
you.
on with
Thank
what
you.
we're doing.
Okay.
The vote has been passed, that's it.
Thank you. Okay. Resolution adopting budget transfer fiscal year ending July 2013. Can I have a motion? This is a transfer.
We should table that as well.
Okay, we'll table it.
Table.
Okay. Resolution
How can,
authorizing.
how can you table, listen, how much sense does that make? You're gonna pay bills for over $2 million.
And they table the
$2.6 million
transfer money.
to
Look,
pay,
we're-
and then you're gonna table budget transfers. Either you're good with your numbers or you're not good with your numbers.
We can sit here and
There's
go back
still
and
questions
Yeah, you-
with the budget
you know
from
what?
this
You
report
guys
as
should
we
read
just
this.
received. However, number 8, item 8 was explained. So, as the mayor manager stated, I had good conscience when I made that vote. Yes, I did.
You know
And
what?
number 9,
I
So
I
how
still
can
have
you pay the
questions.
bills if
For
you don't
number
budget, if you
9,
don't
I still have
transfer the
questions
money?
because that bill
I
was
have a
clear.
comment.
I'm gonna recess for 5 minutes.
No, I
Please.
have a
I'm gonna
comment.
recess for 5
You
minutes
can't take
because I'm not gonna sit here. I think it's embarrassing to sit up here and
No
talk.
embarrassing.
Let's recess for 5 minutes,
We
please.
have the responsibility
Let's
to
just
the taxpayers.
let's recess for 5 minutes, please, because it's embarrassing. We'll give it 5 minutes.
There go the manager
We'll
fighting with the
recess for
mayor.
5 minutes.
Disagreeing. The manager and the mayor disagreeing.
You need the budget transfers to pay the bills.
You put it there to the beginning.
That's the only thing I'm trying to clarify with y'all.
There it is.
But don't transfer it. Table
I just said table. That's what everybody knows.
The problem is to table where you already voted for the 2 million.
So if you,
Before you voted, you should look at in the transfer money where it come from. And then you will know how to vote.
The vote is passed.
No, I'm talking to her. Excuse me. You don't even read nothing. That's exactly what happened here.
Huh?
He
It's
doesn't know.
arguing. Why are you
Yes,
going back and
Father.
arguing about it? It's been voted on, it's passed, and we said table it, we said table it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why are you arguing before the people? That doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make no sense.
and really what should have happened for the board, what should have happened is we should have transferred the money first. Then you vote to pay the bills. How you gonna pay bills and don't have the money to pay it? And you
She
should
just
pay
said
it.
it was in there.
Where?
Said the money was there, right?
TC.
I said the money is there.
Right.
This is what you're trying to say.
All Indians and no chief. All chiefs and no Indians. Everybody wants to be the chief. Everybody wants to be the chief.
This is
All chiefs and no Indians.
Okay. I apologize.
That's okay, you deserve it.
Okay, we're gonna go to 10. Resolution authorizing the acting manager to sign a contract with the owner of the property on the corner of St. John Street. Okay, we're gonna table that. Dennis, that was that corner lot there, we're gonna table it.
Okay, that's fine.
We'll discuss it downstairs, I guess.
There
when we
may be
go.
litigation involved, but it's certainly appropriate for executive discussion.
Okay. Resolution setting the annual spring litter pluck for the Village of Monticello residents for Sunday, May 19th, 2013, from 9 to 3. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second? Second. Okay, roll call. Carmen?
Yes.
Larissa?
Yes.
Rev?
Yes.
TC?
Yes.
It'd be nice if everyone comes out to the litter pluck, they get involved with your community, to do a little, cleaning up the village a little bit. I appreciate it. It's gonna be May 19th.
On Broadway.
On Broadway, we get people together. It's not just about picking up the garbage, it's trying to get some community rally and support and get things done in the village by volunteering. Tom? Yeah.
Thank you. Is that the same day as the Daffodil Plant?
No, that's the 18th.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you
Yeah.
set up a place where people is going to meet?
We could set
I
up
think between the
Ted Strobel, maybe? Mike? What we'll do, we'll meet at the Ted Strobel with bags.
9 o'clock.
Okay. All right, good. Thanks. Resolution authorizing the order and payment to New York State DEC in the amount of $500 from appropriation 1640.425 for Department of Public Works for 2011. It's a fine for the village underground storage tanks, current balance $1,559.91. Have a motion?
Got a motion just with a comment?
Second? This is in 010 that there was we had a problem with a tank in 010, and there was a fine and it wasn't paid. I looked back and I didn't see anything that was paid on it. Janine and I couldn't find anything, so we're going to pay the 500 so we don't keep getting fined for this for something that was in 010. So.
But there wasn't there something, Dennis? Didn't you shoot out a memo or something about this?
Right, actually, it was something, as the mayor said, from a long time ago. It just never had been addressed. We did, they modified the consent order to make it current, but it is what I talked about before, but the board has to approve it if it wants to move forward.
Okay, thank you, Dennis.
Okay, roll call. Carmen?
Yes.
Larissa?
Yes.
Reverend Matthews? TC?
Yes.
Resolution authorizing spring cleanup from May 18th through May 25th, 2013, as specified in the information presented to the board. This is spring cleanup for village residents, and what we're doing this year is we're gonna, instead of taking it to the Horace Park, you'll put it on a truck and take it with a permit to the landfill, and that's how, and it's free for all village residents. But you come to the village to get the permit. Am I correct with that, James?
What about the disabled? Did
The
they
village
want
will
to
still
pick
pick up for the seniors and the
for the seniors and disabled, they pick up in their houses?
Right,
Or
yep,
in
the village will
just
pick up.
put it in the car and call.
Yep. Okay, roll call. Carmen?
I need a
Yes.
motion and a
Oh,
second.
okay. Motion?
I make a motion.
Second?
I second it.
Okay, roll call. Carmen?
Yes.
Larissa?
Yes.
Reverend?
Yes.
TC?
Yes.
Resolution authorizing payment to R&R Pump and Control Services for the emergency repair of the failed starters at Shaker Heights in the amount of $1,034.94 from appropriation G 8120.233, current balance $3,111.24. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call. Carmen?
Yes.
Larissa?
Yes.
Rev?
Yes.
And TC?
Yes.
Did we table? No. Resolution authorizing payment of Gitlin Associates for annual audit in the amount of $25,000, appropriation 1320.407, current account balance $25,000. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion with a comment.
All right, second.
I second it.
Okay, Carmen with a
So
comment.
we're going to clarify that this payment is $25,000 for the audit of 2011.
Okay.
Okay. Because
All right.
it's not here, so it's 2011.
Okay. Okay. Roll call. Carmen.
Yes.
Larissa.
Yes.
Reverend Matthews. TC. Did you say yes, Rev?
Hmm?
Did you say yes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Rev. TC. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
But here's what the here's. And Mr. Mayor, and I appreciate it, and that's what it's for. Here's what the problem I'm having, board. For that appropriation, it says actual. It's already encumbered.
It's already in the budget. We budget that money for the pay. But now he finished the.
I totally understand what it's saying, but it doesn't reflect it in our budget report. However, I know that the guy just did the presentation for 2011, and it needs to be paid for $25,000. And just clarifying, it is for 2011. Thank you.
Resolution authorizing payment to John Fuller, village engineer, in the amount of $2,000 for work done in village hall renovations. Appropriation 1440, 414. Current account balance 16,000. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Carmen.
Yes.
Clarissa.
Yes.
Reverend Matthews. TC.
Yes.
Resolution amending resolution passed on April 16, 2013, authorizing payment to Cayman Industrial Technologies in the amount of $1,569.70 to $1,577.70 for the replacement of chain on flocculator for the water department for appropriation 8320.459. Current account balance $7,890.35. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion with the comment.
Second. Okay, Carmen, what a
Yes,
comment?
it's absolutely needed. I went to the water department, I look at my own person, and I see that we really need it immediately. This to be changed. So I voted yes. We need a clear water.
Okay, Larissa?
Yes.
Reverend Matthews? TC?
Yes.
Public comment, 5 minutes, please. Bam?
Thank you. I'm going to the town board meeting. I'm going to say 2 words which will explain everything that's going on. And I gave TC the 2 words, but he didn't listen to me already. And I said some choice words to him. It's shot. It's called informational insufficiency. Cannot go further. So don't argue. Good night.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Helen, please.
Sure. I'm Helen Budrock from Sullivan Renaissance. I wanted to let the board know that the Monticello Beautification Group is going to be having a work day on the 18th, the day before the litter puck, and it's mostly going to be, these are the volunteers that do the kind of the gardening and the planting beds, so they're going to be doing some weeding and deadheading the daffodils and kind of, raking out stuff, from the mulch and the planting beds. So anybody who's available that would like to volunteer, maybe I can just can I send these around, just kind of pass them around like school? And if there are any students here tonight, the volunteer work is also eligible for community service hours. For high school, we'll be there to sign papers as well. So it's from 10 to noon on Saturday the 18th. We'll meet right at the corner of St. John Street and then just kind of disperse along Broadway, and you don't need any special skills. We'll have some master gardeners there that will show you what to do, and if you have gloves, bring them. If not, we'll have some there for folks to borrow, and it should be hopefully a beautiful day like today. So thank you.
Thank you.
We didn't get a chance to purchase any daffodils this year.
Oh, well, that's the beauty of daffodils, is they keep coming up every year and they multiply.
And Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to publicly say to Larissa, congratulations on your appointment, and best of all, okay?
I just wanted to say something before, just a little update on some of the things that's happening in the village here. The EPT, the EPT is still working with the village. That's the old Concord site. We're still working, the village board and the EPT are still negotiating to move forward with that project down at the Concord. It's still continuing. The Apollo project is another one, the old Apollo. That's another one that Resnick is buying, or he's looking to do a supermarket. So we're actively working with the board to try to get that done. K. Sullivan is a motel that's annexed into the village. It's right across the street from the Apollo. It's a 100-room hotel. He's looking for 2 major chain restaurants to come in. That's Henry Zabata that's doing that. And I mean, these are serious people that are coming in here looking to do something. I was at an inspection with the code enforcer, James, at Dunbar Towers. They probably have about 60% of the work completed there. So that the Dunbar Towers is probably one of the biggest buildings in the village, and they're really aggressively working on that building. We have a gentleman that bought Shaker Heights, and he bought Shaker Heights. He's probably going to put about $3 million into Shaker Heights. I asked him if he would look at Boone Manor, because that's a real place in disparity. It's terrible. He said he would look at it. He's looking at it, and hopefully he would buy it. And all those 2 places owe the village a substantial amount of money, so hopefully he'll buy those. He's a good guy. He has a lot of money. He's looking to rehab those places with security, and the one on Shaker Heights, he has a swimming pool there. And I asked him what would he do with that pool. He said he would bury it. And I asked him, I said, you know, with the crime, the gangs, and the drugs in this community, could he save that pool so maybe the people in that complex can use it? So he said he would work with me and the board or whatever we could do to do something with that, instead of just burying a beautiful pool like that. What else do I have here? Let's see. We're waiting on going up towards West Broadway, that big house on the corner before you turn left on Stewart. Someone's looking to do a restaurant there. The construction they're working on it now, so hopefully it'll be open it's a kosher, and he says maybe non-kosher, so hopefully that'll be open before the summer. Further down on West Broadway, the complex on the right, someone bought that. It's a low housing. Pathstone is buying that, and they want to do a complete renovation, about about $3 million to put into that?
Yes, it's going to be a big community building and another apartment complex building, and they're going to redo all the other buildings.
And a playground, because some of these places have no playgrounds for the kids, and they have no community room. So we're asking them to put more forward, something more than just an apartment, something for the kids. Varnell Road is another property. That's the gentleman there from Varnell Road. We were talking at one time, the board was looking at partnering with the town of Thompson, but this gentleman is looking to annex in to the village where we would get the taxes and the water for that project. So these are things that we're just kind of speaking about. There's nothing in stone, but those are some of the things that are happening. And I'm just trying to give you a little, let's see, old VFW building. The old VFW building, that's the old, I don't know if you know, right by the bank there, the HUD HUD Bank. Tomorrow there's a grand opening. He's putting about 20 employees in there. He bought that building and he put a substantial amount of money in there. He's going to have a grand opening tomorrow there. We have a vendor for the old hospital up on the hill there. He's seriously looking to sell that property, and people are looking at that property, the old house right up on the hill. What else do we have here? I had an audit done with the lighting, and in the village we have a lot of lighting that we pay for, and there was I had someone do a consultant did an inspection on all the village lighting, and what they came back is we were paying an error of about, he gave us a check. We received $29,000 from this gentleman that we saved, and he gets 40% of it. So we got about $18,000 for that. That's from just having someone check. We're spending money on lights that we shouldn't have, that we shouldn't even been paying for. There's lighting at the town. There's a municipal lighting at the government center, right across the street from the government center. I was going to talk to the board. I will explain to the board. It's about $6,000 to $7,000 that we're paying a year, and that's not village lighting. That's the town. That's the county's lighting. So I'm gonna call, or maybe I'll tell Dennis if he can negotiate somehow, why are we paying $6,000 to $7,000 a year on lighting that don't belong to us? I don't want to bore you with this stuff, but I just want to let you know that we're aggressively, and the board and myself, we're aggressively trying hard to get things done here in this village. And I think if we all work together, I think you'll see a lot of things happening. And I'm not just sitting here just to talk about these things. They really are seriously happening. There's one more project before I go. James, there's one on Waverly Avenue. Waverly Avenue is it's a place that someone had literally made a dump yard out of that street. And James, can you explain it for me, please?
Yes, we have investors coming in on Waverly Avenue, on the south side of Waverly Avenue. They're proposing to buy that whole side up, clean that whole property up, and put about 40 condominiums in that area there. That's going to be taxable to the village. It's going to be open for the public, and we will get that tax revenue for that project. They're going to be modular homes. They're going to bring the modular homes in the truck and set them.
How do they propose to clean up all that over there? Are you talking about the old Turk site over there?
Yeah. Not the bad side, not the side that's by the water department, where his house is. If you notice behind it, it's a lot of garbage and debris behind that. It's about 4 lots that's contaminated there. They're proposing to come in there, clean it up, and set the condominiums in. We have a site plan here, and it's in front of the planning board right now.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
okay,
you know, I just want to ask you, Manager Mayor, that when you had this, the APT, the Apollo, that the board has to go, if you have a time, call any board member who is available to listen to these people when you meet. That would be something that, you know, it will be done before anyway. So it will be good to include another board member, an elected official who will be responsible for the taxpayers. So I would like you to invite anybody who is available.
Carmen, with all due respect to you, most of these projects here, I think everyone is pretty much aware of that. We had meetings downstairs with EPT. I mean,
no,
these are not private. These are not private meetings. Dunbar Towers, EPT, all of these are just projects that are pending.
Send a no in there.
I mean,
give it
and
no.
Everyone's welcome to come, but it's not. These are not private meetings. We're all aware. Everyone's aware of these meetings.
Put a no to the trustees.
Okay.
That's the only thing I ask.
Okay, sure,
you know?
sure.
Another thing is I hear executive session, village employee health insurance. That's not belong in executive session.
No. We're all. The only thing we're doing is we're going to just discuss the insurance. There's no votes. There's nothing. We were looking. The board's been looking to change it. It's no big.
I think so.
What is it health insurance for?
Because there's no contract, nothing. It's just to be public.
It's just discussing health insurance. We've been sitting here for almost 2 years just saying that health insurance too high, too low. So that's all it's about. But it's no vote on it. There's no vote.
Can that be discussed in the public?
And public.
Yeah.
That's public.
Okay, we'll bring it in public.
No
secret. No secret.
There's no contract.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, what is it that the village employees?
There's Sterling, and the gentleman was here, I think about 6 months ago. He did a proposal, and we talked about it, and there was nothing done. So what I did, I spoke with him. He said, "Where are you guys at with this insurance?" And I said, "I'll talk to the board about it." So that's why we would go down. It's a discussion. If you want, that's all it is. It's an insurance.
Even if we discuss right now, we can't change it.
No, I'm not changing it.
Because we will penalize by.
No.
By the,
Everyone has the packet from Sterling. Didn't you get a packet? Everyone's got it. About
So
6 months ago.
Has those numbers changed, or those are still numbers?
Yeah, they're the same numbers. I mean, it's not. We're not voting. It's just information. That's all. Yeah. Okay. Anyone for public comment, ma'am?
My name is Diana Corbello. I want to say that was a very good article you wrote in the Democrat.
Thank you.
It's good to believe in God, get you right through. And congratulations, your reinstatement, and Heather. And I feel there's a lot of animosity here because of the reinstatement. That's what I'm feeling today. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
Thank you. Dr. Waleed?
I want to answer to you. I really do. You want me in Spanish or English?
No, both. Okay. Chinese. I
Okay.
understand.
You know, it's no. nothing that nobody wanted. We have an obligation to taxpayers. We have a budget. It's not ready yet, nothing. We have 11 million administration budget, and that money belongs to the taxpayers. And we have a general fund, it's almost $7 million. So we're really serious when it comes to money because we don't want the village to be broke. So yes, we have to look at. There's nobody here other than that taking over or anything because we all here have one vote. It doesn't matter anyway. So our obligation is to the taxpayer. Okay, thank you. That's it.
Doc?
My name is Dr. Ahmed. I'm the owner of Mountain Physical Therapy in Broadway, Monticello here. And I'm talking today about the position that's open for the village manager, which we had discussion about it last time, and I had a suggestion which I didn't get to do it last time, so I'm suggesting this to the public and to the board members as well. I'm looking at the job all together and looking at the history of the village manager. From looking at it, the village manager probably stayed the longest about 1 year. Some of them stayed days, or weeks, or a few months. And that doesn't help our village, because this, continuity of the work is more important than the job itself. We need the work done with whatever it is, but it needs to be done, and the person has to stay for a long period of time. So analyzing all of this information, we're looking for a person that's elected, so the people trust him and would like to work with him. And looking through this information, I find out the mayor is an elected person. People like him, that's why they put him in this position as a mayor. So he's an elected person. Right. So if we put him as a village manager, it would benefit all of us because we like him, we like to work with him. That's why we like him to be the village manager. Second thing is he's getting like $9,000 as a salary. The village manager is getting about $80,000 salary. So putting all this together is about $89,000 the village has to pay. The taxpayer has to pay for this two salaries, two positions. Why didn't we make a deal with the village mayor? If he can do this job full-time, dedicated 40 hours a week or more if we need to, and giving him only $70,000 a year to benefit us, so we're saving about $18,000 a year from the taxpayer. Okay, this is just a suggestion from my personal opinion. Okay, this way we have an elected person, we saved on salaries, on payment that the taxpayer has to pay for, and another thing, he's an elected person. If we don't like him, if he didn't do his job, we can take him off next election coming. This is my suggestion, and I leave it to the board member and to the public.
I'm going to explain it to you why. When all these board members run with a manager from a government, in order for us to dissolve the manager from a government, it has to go to a referendum, which is nobody that. The people has to vote to decide if they want the mayor to be the CEO of the village, or you still want to continue with the manager from a government. I have all the papers together to put it. I don't did it because it was late for me to put it, and I don't want to put it when I was running, honest, Sure. But if I wanted next election, either mayor run again or any mayor, and then the taxpayers had the opportunity to say, this is my mayor, this is going to be my CEO. So we has to, it was a referendum in 1954. So it was a vote. So now, in order to dissolve it, you have to put a referendum for the people to vote.
Please, that would be great.
That's,
I'd like to just answer one question. That you said $70,000. I think that's a bit too high as far as for me to make. I would be comfortable at about $25,000 or $20. I think that's too high for the taxpayers, $70,000. $20,000 will be more than comfortable. And not just me as the mayor, but anyone. I think $70,000 is too much money. There's people in this village that don't have jobs, don't have anything. And I think that would be too much money to pay someone. We are looking to save money in this village because the expense and the taxes are getting too out of control and people can't afford it no more. So, but I appreciate your comment. Thank you. Thank you. Sir?
My name is Eric Berg. I'm a longtime village resident. Heather Berg is my daughter. It's very frustrating for me to sit here and listen to these comments concerning my daughter. She has a full-time job. She's now working at the ashram. And I know that she also is still here at the village. this is my feeling. I know the board, they took Gordon out from manager, they put him back in. They voted for it, the board voted by a 3-2 vote to, I guess, Gordon, what is it, she's part-time or acting treasurer, what do you call that, Gordon? What's
part-time treasurer.
Part-time treasurer. I feel that if you had somebody else to put in these jobs, you would have done it. That's my feeling. Heather's got more than a full plate right now with what she's going. She has 5 children, including one of my granddaughters is autistic, and you know she has more than a full plate. And you know, when I read, you know, these comments in the paper that this is corruption and this is corruption at the highest level, I mean, what are we talking about here? Who's corrupted? You know, if you're going to make these type of accusations in the public and print it, identify who's corrupt. Are you talking about your own board? Are you talking about my daughter? Are you talking about the mayor manager? Identify. You know, I just want to say one more thing here too. This is, I'll make this quick. Sam Houston, American patriot, who also was the governor of 2 different states, Tennessee and Texas. And as far as I know, nobody else had ever served as governor of 2 different states. And he said, he made a statement, he said, sentiment tells well in love matters, but affairs of nations have no soul, and they they have no mentor except interest. And I think you could put that down to the state level, the county level, the town level, the village level. Everybody, I say, who's looking, who's representing the interests of the taxpayers here? Gordon has told me he's looking out for the village. I believe what he says. I believe what he says. I accept that. And, you know, but I see this backbiting back and forth, and, you know, the things get a little tense. The mayor has to, he wants to adjourn for a couple of minutes. I mean, things happen, things get a little heated, but that's my question to the board. Who's looking out for the taxpayers? And just one more thing. I worked in South Fallsburg. I'm not going to mention any names, but I saw a certain individual who was running for the town board in South Fallsburg, and I saw this person is he's in business. The reason he was running for the board to help his own business, and I think this is what happens. You know, I know pretty much everybody on the board. Larissa used to be our neighbor. I know TC from Little League. I know Reverend Kurji. I've gotten to meet Gordon through, you know, my daughter being treasurer. Who's looking out for the, I want to know who's looking out for it. Everybody here, Reverend, you got a church you have to look out for. Gordon has a business. Larissa has a business. She got a card the other day. She stopped by and she handed me her card. Who's looking out for the taxpayers? That's my question. That's right.
One thing I can tell you that me and my husband, we have a business in Broadway, and also we pay taxes too. That's the answer.
Anyone else? Tom?
Thank you. I want to commend the board for voting to, I guess, replace the flocculator that's in desperate need of replacement. Clean drinking water is a priority for all humans, and most of the planet, obviously. But our water system in Monticello is antiquated, And I wondered if you could speak to the condition specifically of the standpipe water tower on Landfill Hill. Recently I was doing some sightseeing and I took some pictures of water pouring out about mid-level from the water tank. And I don't know how many thousands of gallons over the last months or years have gone back into the ground. And that's water that's been purified, that's drinking water. So how many thousands of dollars are pouring out of that water tank? And how much would it take to fix that is what I'm wondering. Are you familiar with the condition that I'm talking about?
We had that welded probably 2-3 months ago. That thing is so, that's what we're working on now with that thing up there. It's about, how old is that thing up there about?
Probably 50 years old, but
no, it's leaking again. I
yeah, it is
leaking. Last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we know it's leaking.
But that's part of the sewer project.
That's right. That's part of the repairs that we're trying to do in the village here.
That's part of the sewer project.
Yeah.
That's going to be redone, the whole tank up there.
We have big, that's nothing. But that's what we're working on. That's why we got that big, we have a $15 million grant. And we're working on.
That's not nothing to do with the sewer. That's the water.
Occasionally people come before the Board of Trustees and ask for forgiveness for fees for water that was lost because of a leaky toilet or a leaky swimming pool or this or that. I mean,
we had a male and
big money.
We had a male and son come here to weld that a couple of times, and it's just so old. I understand what you're saying, but there's absolutely nothing you can do. When we're working on it as soon as we can.
That's the water.
We patch it here, and then it goes. We patch. So that's what we're doing, though. Believe me, I see it up there.
It's necessary to patch it.
Yeah, we're all aware of it.
It's leaking now.
That's why we have this money. Thank God the state gave us money to fix these problems. Otherwise, I think we'd all have some big problems. So,
in the past, not recently, I know Carmen has been over there recently. I've had an opportunity to tour the water plant, and I've seen the flocculator, and they've explained to me, how the filtration system works. At the end, you can drink the water that wasn't drinkable at the beginning of it. And that's what we've got in that tank, so it really is a precious commodity.
we had filters that last 2 meetings ago, over $100,000 for filters, water filters. You think these numbers are made up, but it's an actual fact.
But you spend all that money to put that water in that tank, and it falls out of the tank onto the ground.
Right, you're right. I agree. Anyone else for the comment? Gary?
I just want to tell Gary, and I agree with the gentleman saying. This is what this is about. All our board members we elect. It's not about how much taxes you pay, because we're going to pay taxes regardless, because that's what keeps our society going this road. But the fact is, who's really for the people? To me, the mayor just made a valid point. He would take less than anything just to make sure everybody was good. We should be addressing things like, okay, this gentleman over here, I see this gentleman over here, Mr. Snowden, running all over the place to keep our town perfect. Keep the buildings coming down that are just destroyed, old abandoned buildings. He's a one-man team, and he's on his job all the time. Why don't we do things like appraise him? Why don't we do things like appraise the people that are actually paying the taxes? Why don't we do things like appraising the board members instead of the board members fighting? Let's work together. Not how much taxes you pay, or about a water clock. Take a clock down. He'll get it done because he don't play. He gets it done. But let's address the people. This is who we are. Like, we forgot about what we are. This is all about politics, or it's about us. Let's address the police department. That should be more on their job instead of me sitting here fighting with somebody harassing my son. And I go down there and tell them, this is harassment to change their thing just now. And I got a gentleman like Officer Gallagher telling me, hey, that's not considered harassment. If she's talking to my son, but I said, can you talk to my son? No, that's harassment. Okay. Let's address things like that instead of beating the mayor down, beating everybody down. Let's work together. That's the bottom line. Let's work together. We still got to pay taxes till they put you in a box in the ground. Come on. But address the people, help the people. Help the code enforcement. Help the mayor. Let's help everybody. Come on, let's work together.
I'm going to answer to you. If it will be more communication here, it will not happen this. There is no communication until we come into the meeting. So that's your answer.
Yeah, but no, I'm going to tell you another answer, Ms. Ruth.
There really is communication. I come every day to this village, every day.
They said, there's all these chiefs and no Indians. But right now, he is the chief. He is the chief, and you're still Indian. you're talking after he said the meeting is over. I think it's disrespectful because his camera was still viewing this. It makes it look good bad on TV when we're supposed to be helping the taxpayers. We're the taxpayers. That's what you want to talk with Ms. Screw? Let's help the taxpayers.
I come in every day.
I know, that's all right. Are you helping
Yes,
the taxpayers? Or you're just trying to fight against
Anyone else? Anyone else for public comment? Okay, we're gonna go in executive session for personnel. Can I have a motion? Second? Second. Okay, roll call, Carmen? Larissa?
Yes.
Rev?
Yes.
TC?
Yes.